I freeze, glass trembling in my hand as my stepfather grins wide at the crowd. All the family savings, he announces, pointing at my sister, belong to her now. Laughter erupts around the room, like sharp knives slicing through me. I force a smile, pretending to sip my drink, but my heart pounds so hard I can hear it. Then, from across the room, my fiancé's eyes meet mine. He leans in, lips brushing my ear, and whispers, "Wait until tonight." My stomach flips, my jaw tightens. Tonight, everything will change. My name is Harper Sullivan, 24, and I'm telling this because no one should ever watch their life handed to someone else while smiling politely. The room smells like expensive perfume and stale champagne, a mix that makes my stomach churn. Everyone's gathered in my mother's golden ballroom, celebrating her 25th wedding anniversary. I should feel happy. I should be laughing and toasting, but all I can see is my stepfather standing like a king on a throne, smiling at the crowd like he owns the world. I used to think he cared about me. He made himself my bonus dad when my mother remarried 10 years ago. But tonight, I see him for what he really is, a man who thrives on humiliation. My sister, Emily, is glowing under his spotlight, completely unaware of the storm I'm holding back inside. The toast begins. Everyone raises their glasses. My stepfather clears his throat, smirking. "Family," he says, his voice dripping with authority, "I have an announcement. All the family savings, everything we've worked for, every dollar and cent, is now officially Emily's." Laughter erupts. Everyone claps, some even whistle. I lift my glass, forcing my lips into a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. I feel like I'm choking, a combination of anger and disbelief knotting my throat. Emily glances at me, eyes sparkling, completely unaware. She thinks she's won. She has no idea how deep the betrayal cuts me. My mother beams, nodding at my stepfather with pride, completely missing the storm behind my calm facade. I sip my drink slowly, trying to steady my shaking hands. I can feel my fiancé, Jace, standing nearby, watching me with the kind of understanding that only he can give. He leans in, just enough to whisper, "Wait until tonight." I nod imperceptibly, my mind already racing. Tonight will be the night everything changes. All my life, I've been told to play nice, to be patient, to smile while others get what they don't deserve. But tonight, I refuse to be invisible. Tonight, I will take control. Growing up, I learned the hard way that life isn't fair. My father left when I was 10, leaving a hole that no one could fill. My mother remarried for stability, not love, and my stepfather made it clear early on that I wasn't part of the plan. Emily, with her perfect grades, perfect smile, and perfect life, was the golden child, and I was supposed to be grateful for scraps. But gratitude has limits. Watching him announce my life savings gone to her is the final push I didn't ask for, the final straw. I feel a fire ignite inside me, a fire I can't put out with polite smiles or forced cheers. I glance around the room. Guests are still laughing, oblivious. Some lean over to compliment Emily, praising her for her luck and destiny. I want to scream. I want them to know the truth, but I can't. Not yet. Not when the pieces of the plan are still forming. As the music swells and the next toast begins, I make a silent promise. Every laugh, every mocking glance, every smug smile will be answered. Not tonight, but soon. My life, my future, my dignity, they are not theirs to take. The party goes on, a blur of laughter and clinking glasses, but I barely notice. I'm watching them, memorizing their movements, their habits, the way they think they are untouchable. Every smile they give me is fuel. Every toast they make is a challenge. By the time the final speech ends and the guests start leaving, I feel ready. Not yet to strike, but ready to plan. My fiancé slips a hand into mine as we step outside, his gaze locked on mine. No words are needed. We both know what tonight will set into motion. I inhale the cool night air, letting it calm my racing heart. But even as I breathe, a tiny smile curls on my lips. They have no idea that their victory is temporary, no idea that the real power is already shifting. Tonight is just the beginning. The next morning, the house feels different, quiet but heavy, like it knows what's coming. I sit at the small breakfast table in the corner, coffee cooling in my cup, while everyone else chatters about last night's party. My mother gushes over Emily, still glowing from the attention. My stepfather, smug as ever, lounges in his chair, tapping away on his phone, probably counting the victory he thinks he owns. I sip my coffee and think about Jace's words. Wait until tonight. He knows me better than anyone, knows when the fire inside me ignites. He's already helping me see the angles I couldn't see on my own. Later, we meet in our tiny apartment downtown. Jace spreads a laptop on the kitchen table, his brow furrowed, fingers flying over the keyboard. First, he says, we figure out exactly what
we're working with. Legal access, accounts, assets, everything your stepfather thinks is untouchable. I lean in, scanning the screen. Bank statements, property deeds, investment summaries, a digital map of our target. Every number, every account, every little loophole starts to feel like a puzzle waiting for me to solve. It's not just about money, I murmur. It's about control, about showing them they can't just decide my life. Jace nods. Exactly, and we're going to make them realize it without them seeing it coming. Over the next week, I dive into research. I meet with a financial consultant who doesn't know why I'm asking so many questions, and with a tech-savvy friend from college who teaches me to trace accounts, transfers funds, and spot loopholes. Every detail I learn feels like power slipping into my hands. Every discovery fuels the fire I've been carrying for years. I also start observing my stepfather and Emily in their natural habitat, the house, the office, the restaurants they frequent. Small habits like leaving the safe code on a sticky note or using weak passwords on family accounts, they're careless, arrogant, too confident. At night, Jace and I sit on the apartment balcony, plotting. We need timing, he says. It has to look like an accident, like fate. They can't suspect it's coming from us. I nod, tracing the layout of their house in my mind, thinking about how easily their overconfidence could be turned against them. I even jot down schedules, when my stepfather works late, when Emily is at yoga, when the house is empty enough for us to act without a scene. And then there's the legal part. I meet with an attorney who specializes in inheritance and trust disputes. The law is complex, but in my case, there's a way. If I can prove an update to the family savings account was made under duress or without proper consent, I can claim legal rights. I hand over documents, signatures, past agreements, every piece of evidence that will let me tilt the scale in my favor. During this time, I also prepare mentally. I practice calm smiles, controlled breathing, and patience. I remind myself constantly that this isn't about chaos or revenge for the sake of it. It's about reclaiming what's rightfully mine and teaching them that arrogance has consequences. Some nights, when the city lights blur against the window, I catch Jace watching me. "You're ready," he says softly, not just to act, but to handle what comes after. I nod, though a tiny knot of nerves still twists inside me. This plan is intricate, risky. One mistake and everything could blow up, but fear sharpens me, makes me precise. It's no longer anger alone, it's focus. By the time our plan is fully set, I've memorized every step, every digital trail, every legal loophole. We've rehearsed the timing, the execution, the coincidental elements that will make it all seem accidental. Every friend who can help quietly has been recruited. Every potential obstacle has been anticipated. And still, there's the thrill of it, the thought that by tonight, the people who laughed at me will be the ones frozen, confused, powerless. It makes my pulse quicken. Finally, Jace leans back, eyes glinting. Tomorrow night, it begins. Everything we've set up will fall into place. You're not just taking back what's yours, you're sending a message they'll never forget. I swallow, a mix of nerves and excitement twisting together. This is it. Tonight, the invisible becomes visible, the powerless becomes unstoppable. As I lie in bed that night, staring at the ceiling, I think about the party, about their laughter, about the way Emily's eyes sparkled with undeserved joy. I let it fuel me. Every detail, every slight, every smirk will come back to them, perfectly timed, perfectly executed. Tomorrow, everything changes. The night air hits me as I step out of the car, heart pounding like a drum. My hands are steady, but inside a storm brews. Every step toward my mother's house feels like stepping into the eye of a hurricane. The anniversary party was over, the laughter faded, but tonight the tables turn. Jace walks beside me, holding a small folder with the final documents. "You ready?" he asks, voice low but steady. I nod, gripping the folder. More than ready. The front door creaks as I slip inside. The house is dark, silent, except for the faint hum of the refrigerator and the occasional clink of dishes from the kitchen. My stepfather's confidence is his weakness. He's relaxed, trusting, and utterly unaware that the balance of power is shifting. I move quickly, silently, to the study where the family accounts are managed. The digital pad on the desk glows softly. I take a deep breath, hands steady, as I enter the credentials we've carefully prepared. The folder from Jace holds legal documents, all ready to upload, all verified. As the system loads, I hear footsteps. My stomach tightens, but I don't flinch. Emily's voice echoes from the hallway. "Harper, what are you doing here?"
I force a casual laugh, masking the adrenaline surging through me. Just checking something for Mom. Everything okay? Her eyes narrow, suspicion creeping in. But before she can react further, Jace appears behind me, calm as ever. "We're finishing up some paperwork," he says. Emily hesitates, then nods and retreats, leaving us to work. The upload begins. Each document clicks into place, a silent symphony of justice. I watch the progress bar inch forward, every second stretching my nerves taut. Suddenly, my stepfather appears in the doorway, drink in hand, eyebrows raised. "Harper, Jace, what's happening here?" I straighten, smile, polite but cold. "Just updating some family records. Thought you'd want everything in order before tomorrow." He chuckles, a self-satisfied sound, and leans against the frame. Well, careful not to mess anything up. Some things are sensitive. I glance at Jace, who gives a subtle nod. That's it. Everything is in motion. The upload finishes. I hit the final confirm button, and a quiet ping echoes through the study. The family savings, the accounts my stepfather had boasted about, the ones Emily laughed at me over, every bit has now been legally transferred to me. I watch the screen, a calm smile spreading across my face. Victory doesn't feel loud. It's quiet, precise, and devastating in its simplicity. My stepfather blinks at the screen, confusion crossing his face. What is this? Emily rushes in, her phone in hand, notifications lighting up. She reads the alert, then stares at me. The laughter, the pride, the smugness, all drains from her face. She swallows, voice trembling. This can't be. It's supposed to be mine. I shrug, calmly sipping my water. Guess it isn't. The room is silent, except for the soft hum of electronics and the rapid beat of shocked hearts. Their eyes are wide, disbelief painted on every expression. The arrogance, the confidence, they had thought themselves untouchable, and now, nothing. But the plan isn't just about the money. It's about the lesson, the shock, the moment they realize that actions have consequences. Before they can recover, Jace steps forward, eyes sharp. Sometimes people forget to check their assumptions. Tonight, we remind them. My stepfather opens his mouth, flustered, but no words come. Emily tries to argue, to protest, but the legal confirmations on the screen speak louder than any voice. I take a step closer. All of this, I say, gesturing to the account confirmation, was never theirs to give away. And your laughter, well, that was your mistake. Emily's eyes fill with tears. My stepfather's jaw tightens, rage simmering beneath the surface. But for the first time, they realize they underestimated me. The tension hangs like a storm cloud. The room is small, the air thick. I can feel it in every glance, every breath, every unspoken word. I take a slow breath, savoring the moment. The plan worked flawlessly, yet there's a thrill in watching them scramble, in seeing their confidence crumble into panic. Jace whispers, "This is just the beginning." I nod, calm but thrilled. Tonight, the balance of power has shifted. Their laughter has been replaced with disbelief, their smug victory destroyed. And as I walk past them towards the door, the notification still glowing on Emily's phone, I know one thing. The night isn't over. There's still a truth to reveal, a final confrontation to savor. The door clicks behind me, leaving them staring at a world that just changed. The next morning, the house feels tense, heavy, like the walls themselves are holding their breath. I step inside with Jace beside me, calm and collected. My stepfather and Emily are already awake, faces pale, eyes darting between each other and their phones. Every glance is suspicion, every twitch a silent acknowledgement that the ground beneath them has shifted. I smile softly, letting the quiet speak louder than any words. "Morning," I say, voice light, casual, but with an edge that makes them flinch. My stepfather clears his composure, trying to regain composure. "Harper, what's happening? How—" I raise a hand, stopping him. "You'll want to sit for this." I gesture to the kitchen table where I've placed the documents, not just the account confirmations, but every piece of evidence we gathered. Signatures, legal statements, transaction logs, each sheet a reminder of their arrogance. Emily swallows hard, stepping closer. "Harper, this isn't fair. Mom would—" I interrupt gently. "She's already heard everything, and she understands more than you think." At that moment, my mother walks in, eyes narrowing as she scans the table. "What's all this?" she asks, voice steady. She stops, looking at the screen, then at me, realization dawning. "This," I say softly, "is everything you thought belonged to someone else. But legally, it's mine, and it always should have been." My stepfather's face twists, a mixture of disbelief and anger. You can't, this is—" I hold up a finger. "I can, and I did. Every step was legal, every document verified. And your laughter last night? That was the mistake. You underestimated me." Emily's hands tremble as she clutches her phone. "But we laughed. We thought—" "Yes," I say, leaning forward, letting my calm mask the storm inside. "You thought, and that thought cost you more than you realized." Jace steps in, supportive, unwavering. Sometimes people forget that every action has a reaction. Tonight isn't about punishment, it's about awareness. My stepfather slams a hand on the table, shaking papers. "You'll regret this." I shake my head, smile soft but unyielding. No regrets, just truth. And the truth is that arrogance and cruelty have consequences, even if they hide behind smiles and jokes. My mother, standing behind him, speaks for the first time. I didn't realize how blind I was. Harper, you've done what needed to be done." Her voice is steady but emotional, eyes glistening. The weight of the moment settles. Emily sinks into a chair, defeated, her usual confidence shattered. My stepfather, once a titan in his own mind, slumps slightly, the realization of loss and humiliation washing over him. I take a deep breath, sealing the adrenaline ebb away. The plan, the preparation, the nights of planning and tension, they've all led to this. Not chaos, not revenge for cruelty's sake, but justice delivered in its purest form. "Now," I say softly, looking at both of them, "you have two choices. Learn from this, or stay trapped in your arrogance. The decision is yours." Silence, heavy, thick, like the calm after a storm. Finally, my stepfather nods slowly, a small but genuine acknowledgement. Emily sinks into a chair, defeated, her usual confidence shattered, no words left to throw at me. I glance at Jace, who smiles subtly. We've done more than reclaim what was mine. We've shifted the balance, and we've taught a lesson they won't forget. Later, as the house begins to settle into a quieter rhythm, I step outside, inhaling the cool afternoon air. I feel lighter, freer, like a weight has been lifted. The storm inside me has finally calmed. Jace slips his hand into mine. "You did it," he says softly, "and you did it with patience, precision, and strength." I nod, eyes on the horizon. Yes, but more than that, I learned that standing up for yourself doesn't have to be loud or messy. Sometimes it's just quiet, careful, and inevitable. As I walk away from the house, the notifications still glowing on their devices, I feel a sense of satisfaction deeper than any fleeting victory. I've reclaimed my life, my dignity, and my future, and the people who doubted me, they'll remember this night forever. Tonight was the end of their assumptions, the end of their arrogance, and the beginning of my freedom.